Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we're tackling something that is just incredibly powerful, incredibly primal, and honestly something that affects absolutely every single one of us. We're taking a deep psychological look into the anatomy and mastery of anger. Okay, let's dive right into this and set the stage for what I like to call an emotional autopsy. We're going to peel back the layers of a feeling that is so often misunderstood, completely mislabeled, and, usually mismanaged. By the end of this explainer, I promise you, you're going to see your own frustration in a completely new light. Here is our roadmap for today's journey. We'll start with the science of anger, then look at 3 anger personalities, uncover the hidden pain beneath, discuss managing anger with loved ones, and finally wrap up with practical tools for mastery. All right, let's jump into part 1, the science of anger, the biology behind the boil. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Anger isn't just bad behavior or a lack of discipline. Not at all. It is a deeply ingrained biological response, and it's driven by this tiny almond-shaped structure in your brain called the amygdala. This little guy is your brain's emotional processing center. So when you perceive a threat, and that could be an actual, literal physical danger or just a really infuriating email from your boss, your amygdala can literally hijack your brain. We call it an amygdala hijack. In a fraction of a second, it floods your body with hormones, your heart rate shoots up, and boom, it instantly primes you for a fight. It is a primal trigger. Your rational brain hasn't even had a millisecond to process the situation, but your amygdala, it's already sounded the alarm and locked you straight into combat mode. So I want you to ask yourself a question. Have you ever wondered why we say we see red? Think about it for a second. When we experience this hijack we just talked about, your blood pressure instantly spikes, and blood actually rushes away from your rational prefrontal cortex and out toward your muscles. Why? To prepare you for a physical fight. You literally run hot. It's not because we're flawed or broken or bad people. It's a built-in biological reaction completely designed by evolution just to protect us. By recognizing that this instant 0 to 60 reaction is simply your survival hardware doing exactly what it was built to do, we can immediately lower our defenses and completely strip away the stigma that surrounds this emotion. You aren't a bad person for feeling it, you're just a human being with a highly functioning nervous system. Moving on to section 2, 3 anger personalities, how anger manifests. Now that we have a firm grasp on the biology, let's explore how this primal beast actually shows up in our everyday lives. Because there is a massive disconnect between what we see on the outside and what's actually happening on the inside. Let's break this down. First, you have the exploders. They're the ones yelling, slamming doors, making a huge scene. But internally, they are entirely overwhelmed, frightened, and they feel completely out of control of their environment. Second, you have the repressors. Outwardly, they're super quiet, avoidant, and they might even smile and tell you they're totally fine. But internally, they are seething, biting their tongue and boiling with unexpressed tension. And finally, the passive-aggressive folks. Instead of yelling, they use these perfectly timed sarcastic comments, backhanded compliments, or just plain stubbornness, like conveniently forgetting to do that chore you asked them about 3 times. Internally, they're bitter and feel deeply unheard, so they leak their anger out. Well, actually, they leak it out sideways instead of confronting it directly. So the crucial point here is, which one are you? I want to playfully challenge you right now to use this as a mirror. When the amygdala fires and you get triggered, do you explode? Do you repress and swallow it? Or do you get sarcastic and passive-aggressive? Or, let's be honest, which profile best fits your partner or your coworker? Recognizing these patterns is literally the very first step towards stepping out of them. All right, section 3, the hidden pain beneath. The iceberg of emotion. We're going to shift gears a little bit now, moving away from those loud outward behaviors down to a much deeper, much quieter place. I want you to think of anger as an iceberg. The anger that we see, the yelling, the sarcasm, the slamming doors, that's the secondary emotion. It's just the tip of the iceberg, right? It's the part that sits above the waterline for everyone to easily see. But the massive hidden block of ice beneath the surface, that is the primary emotion. Before we ever feel anger, we feel pain. We feel fear, we feel rejection. The anger is really just a reaction to those underlying, deeply vulnerable feelings. When someone lashes out, what's really happening is that they are in pain. There is a profound truth we have to fully wrap our heads around. Anger is often a secondary emotion, serving as a protective shield for underlying pain, fear, or rejection. This perfectly, brilliantly illustrates why fighting anger with anger never, ever works. If you yell back at someone who is angry, you're just attacking their protective shield. You aren't doing anything to address the wound beneath it. If we want to truly resolve conflict, we have to look past that shield and gently address the fear or the pain that they are desperately trying to protect. Which brings us to section 4, managing anger with loved ones, navigating relationships and kids. So how do we practically use this new understanding? Because this is a real game changer. When we're dealing with our partners or our kids, recognizing that their anger is a secondary emotion completely flips the script. Let's say your partner snaps at you right after walking through the door from a miserable hour-long commute. Instead of snapping back about their tone, which is so easy to do, try to safely address the hidden pain. Are they absolutely exhausted? Are they feeling unappreciated? By speaking directly to that primary emotion, you completely de-escalate the conflict and avoid a massive explosion over, say, who left their shoes in the hallway. And honestly, this is absolutely crucial for kids. Children have massive feelings and very, very little ability to regulate them. So when a kid throws a huge tantrum because their block tower fell over, we have to validate their underlying feelings of sheer frustration and helplessness, rather than just punishing the secondary anger. We have to teach them that the feelings living under that shield are valid and, most importantly, safe to express.
Let's move to our final piece and see how this all builds together. Section 5, practical tools for mastery and taking back control.
We've diagnosed the biology, we've identified the behaviors, and we've uncovered the hidden pain. Now it is time for the cure. When anger strikes, I want you to rely on this clear 3-step process. Step 1 is mindfulness. You have to be present enough to actually recognize that amygdala trigger in real time. Just notice your heart racing and say to yourself, okay, my biology is reacting right now. Step 2, identify the hidden pain. Ask yourself, what's the primary emotion here? Am I scared? Am I feeling rejected because I was left off that meeting invite? Then step 3 is cognitive restructuring. This sounds fancy, but it just means actively reframing your thoughts. Instead of thinking, this person is trying to ruin my career, you restructure it to, okay, this is an incredibly frustrating oversight, but I am entirely in control of how I respond. By doing this, you are literally rewiring your brain to tame that primal beast. Because ultimately, this is the core takeaway of our entire explainer. Master the emotion before it masters you. By practicing this mindfulness and cognitive restructuring, we carve out a precious few seconds of space. We step right in between that biological trigger and our behavioral response. We stop reacting, and we finally start responding. I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought to carry with you today. Is your anger actually your greatest unmet need trying to speak? The next time you feel that boil, the next time you see red, I want you to remember the iceberg. Stop, take a breath, and listen to what the pain beneath the shield is trying to tell you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.